Lines just $30 each. Click, call, or visit a Spectrum store today.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Spectrum News Plus. Local stories, connecting communities. Streaming now on the Spectrum News app and free with your Spectrum subscription.
I'm Sharon Tazwell. Here's your Spectrum News in 90. The White House Monday confirmed a journalist was mistakenly added to a group chat in which U.S. national security officials plan to strike against Houthi rebels in Yemen. The editor-in-chief of The Atlantic says he was added to a single message group which included top U.S. officials. President Trump told reporters he's unaware of the story.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business.
U.S. negotiators are meeting with Russian officials Monday to discuss a proposed ceasefire deal in Ukraine. The meeting in Saudi Arabia comes one day after the U.S. held separate talks with Ukraine. Moscow and Kyiv have accused each other of undermining efforts to reach a pause in the war. And wildfires forcing new evacuations Monday as emergency crews battle blazes in at least 3 states. Mandatory evacuation orders are in place in parts of North Carolina as officials warn residents could be trapped if they remain near impacted areas. South Carolina's governor declared an emergency in response to a growing wildfire that's destroying homes.
It was chaos. So we was up here trying to put the fire out. We couldn't get it out, so the fire department come. The wind picked up, and after that happened, it was all she wrote.
And that's your Spectrum News in 90.
Meteorologist Alan Ogles here with a quick check of your forecast. It is quiet for most of the country, at least for now, but Maine had some snow today, rain along the eastern seaboard. A lot of the country, though, feeling the warmth and the potential for some thunderstorms this weekend for the Midwest and South. But look at the numbers for tomorrow. The warmth combined to the southern states, also the West. How about 98 in Phoenix?
New controversy for the Trump administration after messages about strikes in Yemen were mistakenly shared with a journalist before the strikes happened. The editor-in-chief from The Atlantic reporting the story Monday, and the National Security Council says the message appears to be authentic. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sharon Tazwell. The incident's immediately garnering criticism from Democrats. The National Security Council investigating how it happened. And among the top U.S. officials included in the signal group included Vice President J.D. Vance, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Our national reporter Evan Kozlov joins us now with more. Evan, break down this Atlantic report for us. What are the accusations being made against the Trump administration?
Well, Sharon, even by Washington standards, this was a shocking story. This is the article right here from The Atlantic with the headline, "The Trump administration accidentally texted me its war plans." Here's what happened. Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor for The Atlantic magazine, says that he was invited to a group chat on the messaging app Signal by someone with the username Michael Waltz. That's the name of President Trump's national security advisor. So he joined, and that's where he found himself in a chat with a group that appeared to be President Trump's national security team, including the Secretary of State, the Defense Secretary, and even, as he mentioned, the Vice President. The group chat apparently did not realize that there was a journalist accidentally invited to join them in the chat. The Defense Secretary then started outlining the plans for military strikes against Houthi rebels in Yemen, including when the strikes would begin. Now, at this point, Goldberg wrote that he still was not sure that this was real, saying he had major doubts, until the strikes actually began in Yemen right when the group chat Democrats said that they would. Sharon, that's when he realized, yeah, this was real. He was in a group chat with members of the president's cabinet, and now, no doubt, there are going to be a lot of questions about how in the world this could have happened.
Wow, how in the world did that happen? All right, so Evan, the president was questioned on the report Monday, and what was his response?
Well, frankly, he seemed as surprised as everyone else when he was asked about it. Let's take a listen.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine. I don't know anything about it. You're telling me about it for the first time.
Now, since then, Spectrum News did hear from a spokesperson at the National Security Council. He said that the message thread does appear to be authentic, and they are, quote, reviewing how an inadvertent number was added to the chain. Sharon, this text thread also gave us some rare insights into the opinions of some cabinet members. For example, at one point, J.D. Vance, the vice president, appeared to voice his skepticism with the plan, writing, quote, I think we're making a mistake. Obviously, this was something he never expected would be made public, Sharon.
Right. All right. So, Evan, how are Democrats responding to the incident?
Well, obviously, this story is absolutely blown up here in Washington. Arizona Senator Ruben Gallego, for example, called it amateur hour. Senator Mark Kelly, also from Arizona, posted on X calling this recklessness that put the pilots at risk. And now Democratic leaders in both the Senate and the House are calling for investigations. Take a listen to Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
It's how our enemies can take advantage of us. It's how our national security falls into danger. If you were up in arms over unsecure emails years ago, you should certainly be outraged by this amateurish behavior.
All right, so White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt also responding to this stunning story, saying that President Trump still has the utmost confidence in his national security team. Sharon, just another normal day here in Washington.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of a big oops there. We'll see how it all plays out. Evan Kozloff in Washington. Thanks.
Thank you.
Washington, a legal showdown underway after a judge called President Donald Trump's use of a sweeping wartime authority for deportation flights, quote, unprecedented territory. Spectrum's Cassie Simeon has more on the judge's ruling, plus a look at what comes next.
The explosive case involves 2 plane loads of men the Trump administration deported to El Salvador earlier this month. The planes kept going even after U.S. District Judge James Boasberg stayed the deportations and ordered the planes to turn around and fly back to the U.S. In a 37-page decision Monday, the judge reaffirmed his original decision, declaring the deportees were denied an opportunity to refute allegations they were gang members. Before they may be deported, they are entitled to individualized hearings to determine whether the act applies to them at all, he wrote. The Trump administration deported the men using wartime powers under the Alien Enemies Act, a law enacted in 1798. The law allows the government to arrest subjects of a hostile nation and deport them as alien enemies. The administration claims the law was properly invoked because the gang members are dangerous, and the gang, Tren de Aragua, is aligned with the Venezuelan government. In his decision, Boasberg said he was only ruling that the migrants were denied due process, leaving for later the issue of whether the gang can be considered a hostile nation.
Historically, every time it has been used, it has been at war. Whether the president can declare war in effect against a particular gang or a country based on infiltration of a gang, these are some of the complicated legal questions.
Later Monday, a federal appeals court in Washington heard the Justice Department's request to stay Boasberg's order. A judge during the hearing blasted the administration's treatment of the migrants, in particular the absence of due process.
Nazis got better treatment under the Alien Enemy Act.
Well, Your Honor, we certainly dispute the Nazi analogy.
Legal experts say this case is likely far from over.
My guess is that this case, at some point, in some aspect of this case, will reach the U.S. Supreme Court.
Cassie Simeon joins us from Washington. Cassie, as the appeals process plays out, what can we expect to see over the coming days? And is there a possibility the Supreme Court gets involved in this case?
Yeah, well, Judge Millett really said it during this hearing. The court is in unprecedented territory. So it's not just us, the journalists that are covering this, that feel it. These judges are really in a tough spot here. The appeals court is expected to rule in the coming days whether or not Boasberg's ruling is allowed to stand. The panel of judges has already declined an attempt by the Trump administration to remove Boasberg from the case writ large. The appeals court now has to make this decision, and the Trump DOJ can appeal it to the Supreme Court if they do not agree with that decision, which is something legal experts say isn't out of the question at this point, Sharon.
All right, Cassie Simeon in Washington. Thanks.
Thanks.
Large wildfires in the Carolinas prompting evacuations. Coming up on Spectrum News, the efforts by firefighters to contain the devastation amid new warnings.
We said we'd never break the 3-second rule. Never do that. And never become a minivan mom.
Hey, Chris.
As parents, we say never a lot, but never happens. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
I really am in the middle of nowhere. Every day is different. Chores, come on, homeschooling, and then I fit in the rug business. I just got a new batch of rugs that I'd love to show you. I have a website, and a lot of what I do is sharing my home life. Mommy's leaving. Reliable, high-speed internet is the foundation of our business. Spectrum was great. They went out of their way to make sure that I was okay and I was taken care of. Shoo! And that's the awesomeness of having Spectrum.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Meteorologist Alan Ogles here with your latest Weather on the Ones update. Tracking satellite and radar across the country, we've been watching a system along the East Coast, and it is bringing some snow through Maine. Yes, snow, about 3 to 6 inches of snowfall for you before it starts to depart tonight. But take a look at the shot coming out of Brunswick, Maine. Thanks to Alicia Fagan for sending this in. That squirrel enjoying a little bit of a snack there as that snow began to fall. Winter weather advisories do continue through this evening for Bangor, Augusta, northbound into Millinocket. So use caution in these areas in Maine where we're seeing that snow this evening. Again, that pulls away to the north and east overnight. A weak disturbance through the Plain States now worked its way into the Ohio River Valley tomorrow morning. So Cincinnati, Ohio, some rain tomorrow morning, some light rainfall, and that will push eastbound towards Philadelphia, Baltimore, D.C., and Richmond by Tuesday evening. The temperature trend, well, that chill is locked up through the Great Lakes and Northeast for tomorrow. That milder in the south, also to the west, where we're looking at record high temperatures up and down the west coast, even around Phoenix, Arizona as well. Very warm temperatures into Thursday. Chilly air continues into the north and east. So looking at the next 3 days, you see that cooler air through the Great Lakes and Northeast. 50s, that's it for highs through Thursday in New York City. But look at Dallas. Tomorrow, How about a toasty 90 degrees before we go back down into the upper 70s by Wednesday? And even San Francisco tomorrow up to 78 degrees. So that warm air is confined to the south, also the Plain States and into the west for Tuesday. And some of that warmth will start to move eastbound towards Thursday in the Ohio River Valley by Friday. Now, coming up with your next Weather on the Ones, we will be taking a look at that DC cherry blossom forecast. We'll have that in less than 10 minutes from now.
Joining us, here's what you need to know. Members of President Trump's cabinet apparently sent a reporter war plans. The Atlantic journalist says he received plans over text about U.S. strikes on Yemen before they happened. The National Security Council says the text chain, quote, appears to be authentic. A judge called Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act unprecedented territory during a hearing Monday. This after Trump's request to invoke the Wartime Act for deportation was declined. And Trump says he'll put a 25% tariff on all imports from any country that buys oil or gas from Venezuela. That's what you need to know. A growing threat prompting evacuations in the Carolinas as emergency crews battle multiple large wildfires. The blazes have burned more than 6,000 acres combined, and it's not over yet. Spectrum's Ariel Wessler has more on the new warnings coming from officials.
Crews battling flames across the Carolinas as wildfires burn thousands of acres and destroy some homes.
It was chaos. So we was up here trying to put the fire out. We couldn't get it out, so the fire department come. The wind picked up, and after that happened, it was all she wrote.
Thousands ordered to evacuate. The fires are burning in rugged terrain, making it more difficult for firefighters to contain them. These residents scramble to protect their RVs and equipment.
If it does reach this far, our equipment won't get burned up. Literally, it's just kind of keep everything kind of away from the brush line as best we can.
In South Carolina, the governor declared a state of emergency Saturday. The National Guard deployed, dropping water over burned areas as massive plumes of smoke rise from the hills. In both the Carolinas, firefighters must deal with the large number of leaves, trees, and other debris left behind by Hurricane Helene.
I feel bad for all the people that live here with the Helene and this back-to-back.
Hundreds of personnel, including some from other parts of the country, are working to contain the wildfires.
High elevated winds, higher temperatures, lower relative humidity. So we are seeing all those conditions that's contributing to higher and more intense fire spread.
We're sad that it happens, but we're all glad to be able to just join in together and work as one team.
Both North and South Carolina have statewide bans on all outdoor fires, including campfires. Along with the Carolinas, forecasters say Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and parts of Louisiana and Mississippi face above-average wildfire potential throughout March. Ariel Wessler, Spectrum News.
Spectrum meteorologist Alan Ogles is keeping a close eye on weather conditions in the region and joins us now. Alan, dry conditions playing a major role in the spread of the fires. What can you tell us?
Well, those winds really going to be ramping up for Tuesday, Sharon, but at least there was just a little bit of rain the first half of Monday, but just a drop in the bucket, less than 1/10 of an inch of rain, unfortunately, where those fires are occurring. We are tracking another system through the Ohio Valley tomorrow morning, but again, unfortunately, this system stays to the north through Virginia and to Maryland right through Tuesday. What it's going to do is really ramp up those winds. So you see those fires burning here into southwestern North Carolina, northwestern South Carolina. The winds are calm in the morning, but they really pick up during the afternoon. Look at these winds clocking in 20, 40 miles per hour. So that's really going to fan those flames, unfortunately. At least those winds will calm down into Tuesday night and Wednesday. There is an air quality alert up as well for East Flat Rock, also near Spartanburg in South Carolina. So, yeah, we are concerned about that thanks to the smoke. And there's that chance of rain. Unfortunately, nothing through the start of the weekend. Looks like some beneficial rains, but not until later on Sunday into the early portion of next week, Sharon.
All right, meteorologist Alan Ogles, thanks.
You're welcome.
President Trump appointed his former defense attorney and current White House counselor Alina Habba to be New Jersey's top federal prosecutor. Habba says she looks forward to working with Attorney General Pam Bondi.
And making sure that we further the president's agenda of putting America first, cleaning up mess, and going after the people that we should be going after.
Habba served as a senior advisor for the president's political action committee, defending him in court in several lawsuits, including his defamation case involving E. Jean Carroll. First responders help a couple deliver their bundle of joy, the surprising connection the EMT workers share with the parents. Just ahead.
For the millions of school-aged children across the country, the state of their schools can have a lasting impact on their health and well-being.
The majority of school districts aren't doing comprehensive, regular water quality testing.
As CO2 levels rise in a space, cognitive function takes a direct decline.
We visit 2 school districts working to create safe and healthy environments for their students.
Watch Exploring Your Health, Curing Our Classrooms, available on the Spectrum News app.
Starting a business is hard. You have to stay connected at all times.
As we've been growing the studio, Spectrum's been there every step of the way. I'm always able to make the phone call that I need. I'm able to shoot that text message or that email. Every vital piece of equipment that we have here uses Spectrum.
Fast, reliable internet, starting at $40 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep your business connected.
I tell my son, I love you every single day. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Meteorologist Alan Auglis, welcome back to Spectrum News. Overall, a quieter weather pattern for the country. Snowed today in Maine. That exits overnight. Several inches for you. Warm, though, for most of the country. And then a weak system brings a little bit of rain through the Ohio Valley tomorrow. You see that disturbance there through the upper Midwest. That swings through tomorrow towards northern Kentucky, Ohio, and then towards the East Coast. And speaking of the East Coast, some rain and even some of that snow into Maine for today. Welcome rain along I-95. Just take a look at this scene coming out of New Jersey and Waterford. You know, the firefighters working extra hard to keep those flames contained, but the weather at least trying to help out with some of that rainfall today. In fact, a lot of the country dealing with drought conditions, especially in the plains, the upper Midwest, and also the desert Southwest as well into southern Texas. But as we work our way towards New Jersey, extreme drought in southern New Jersey, and also severe drought in southeastern Pennsylvania, southbound into D.C. But at least some welcome rain for this portion of the world today. About 1 inch of rain into Delaware, eastern Maryland, also into much of New Jersey, and more rain heading that way. So into the morning hours around Cincinnati, it's a wet morning commute. Some light rainfall with this weak low pressure passing on through the Ohio River Valley in the morning, and then it's towards the evening commute. D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, South Jersey, you're dealing with some rain. Speaking of D.C., the cherry blossom forecast for you. The peak bloom is expected March 28th through the 31st, and it will be on the cool side by Wednesday, highs in the mid-50s, but sunshine by Thursday near 60. But look towards the weekend, numbers really rise around 70 on Friday. Some clouds around, perhaps a shower or two, but not bad at all with those temperatures really warming up. As we look at the country At a hole here on Tuesday. That weak disturbance through the Ohio Valley into the mid-Atlantic. But look at the warmth. Dallas, 90 degrees, 71 in Kansas City. Wednesday, most of the country were quiet. A little bit cool for the northeast, but warm air to the west. Salt Lake City, 80 degrees. Phoenix, 94. And then showers and storms, especially in drought-stricken southern Texas by Thursday, with temperatures cooling back down there into the 70s.
Genetic testing company 23andMe is filing for bankruptcy. On Sunday, the company said it will look to sell its assets through a reorganization plan. The company gained popularity for its test kits that helped customers learn about their ancestry, but struggled to earn profit due to its limited product line. Co-founder and CEO Ann Wojcicki is also stepping down, but will remain on the company's board. TikTok has removed the controversial Chubby filter from the platform. The filter allowed users to change photos to make themselves look heavier. Well, the trend received backlash from users concerned about body shaming. TikTok said it removed the filter and is reviewing videos that used it, making them ineligible for recommendation and blocking them from teen accounts. First responders in Massachusetts proving the "it's a small world" saying to be true. Well, Spectrum's Dan Reedy caught up with the EMS providers who helped a couple deliver their new baby and learned about the special connection one of them has to the family.
And I was like, I think you need to call 911. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, yep, I think this baby's coming.
Kayla Alvarez says at 38 weeks pregnant, her daughter Mariah arrived earlier than expected.
The night before, I was having pretty inconsistent contractions, like 10 to 15 minutes apart. Not my first rodeo, it's my second baby. So I kind of knew birth was coming, but not right that night.
At about 4 a.m. on January 29th at home in Milford, Alvarez woke up Mariah's father, Prescott Casey, and said it's time to go.
I told him we need to, get ready because I think the baby's going to come. And as I got up to start getting ready, my contractions just hit me like a truck.
Casey, who's a new Worcester firefighter, says he wasn't expecting to see a familiar face at 4 in the morning. EMT Kevin Carlucci and paramedic Ruben Torres, who's also a full-time Worcester firefighter, answered the couple's 911 call.
As soon as we were getting ready to go out of the apartment, Prescott over here, he ended up coming out of the back room, and we automatically knew each other from sight from the academy at Worcester Fire Department.
Seeing him, being one of the EMS providers that night, I knew that she was in good hands. He had trained me in the fire academy doing EMS and everything.
Torres has more than 20 years of experience as a paramedic, which proved to be useful as Alvarez gave birth to Mariah minutes into their ambulance ride.
Well, for Kevin, it was his first time. Me, it was, this is my 7th one, but this is the first girl. We were on our way to UMass Memorial, usually where she would have given birth. However, the baby was excited to come into the world, and she came early.
In the ambulance, I kind of told Ruben, I was like, I think I need to push. He looked, he said, you're crowning. He just looked at me and he was like, whenever you're ready. And then I pushed and now baby Mariah's here.
And now Mariah's got a fun story about running into a familiar Worcester firefighter for the rest of her life.
I could say I trust pretty much anyone in the fire department I work with, with my life if I really needed to. So, in that case in time, if he was there to give birth to her, I knew she was in good hands, and, it would all work out right.
In Milford, Dan Reedy, Spectrum News.
A revival of William Shakespeare's Othello has made history on Broadway, with a production which features Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal is now Broadway's top-grossing play of all time. The adaptation broke a record held by Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Othello also carries some of Broadway's biggest ticket prices, averaging more than $300. Othello is set to run at the Barrymore Theater through the first week of June. I'm Sharon Tazwell. Thanks for watching. Your Spectrum News in 90 is coming up right after this short break. Stay with us.
Friday nights, The Big Deal with Errol Lewis, where Spectrum News' local political journalists break down the most important issues shaping our nation.
Our journey
towards improving mental health doesn't always present a clear path. Every Thursday on Your Mental Health, we listen to voices across our communities, discussing the challenges of everyday life and presenting accessible resources to guide us along the path to our well-being, providing hope and empowering choices that light the way to a healthier you.
Your Mental Health with Dr. Nicole Clark, Thursdays on Spectrum News Plus, available on all your favorite devices.
It's game time at the arena, and 20,000 fans are looking for a win. With an ultra-high-speed network and seamless Wi-Fi, fans can get in the door fast and share the game's best moments in real time. And with Spectrum Business committed to keeping them connected 100% of the time, they won't miss a second of the action. A secure, reliable connection from Spectrum Business means the fan experience is a guaranteed win.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Weather can be beautiful, inconvenient, and at times powerful. And it affects everything we do. At Spectrum News Plus, our weather experts update you with the information and the context you need so you can better plan your day. And we do it every 10 minutes. We're the calm in the storm. Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News Plus, exclusively on Spectrum. And get your weather anytime on the Spectrum News app. Spectrum News Plus. Local stories, connecting communities. Streaming now on the Spectrum.